been on the air for a long time.
He's like, whatever,
He's
girl.
been in his seat for a very long time.
He's a good man.
So I have to tell you, so we get this little message. I get a message from Beth because she didn't answer her phone. And she says, oh my gosh. Here it is. She goes, oh my gosh, you have to save time for this kit. Of all the things we did, she's like, you have to save time for this.
I need to talk about paper.
But then I went, oh, I get it. And I understand why. All right, guys, so here we go. It's two choices. This is a 72-piece cardstock collection, but wait a minute.
There's four choices, actually.
Adhesive. So here's the story.
So good.
I have the 72-piece, which is the standard A2.
Yeah.
Or we have the 60-piece, which is the slimline collection.
Yeah.
And then you said there's more options?
So you can either get both sides. You can get the A2 in rainbow or all white.
Got it.
Or you can get the slimline in rainbow or all white. This is just like the grip mat is going to change your life when it comes to inking and stamping things. This is going to change your life when it comes to die cutting. Because here's why. I'm just going to real quick do how much time we got? 1:57? No, I want to show you some finished projects. Because this paper is self-adhesive on the back, which means when you run it through your diamond press machine, it is going to come out perfectly adhered on the back, and you just peel off the backing as if it's a sticker. Let's talk about why that's important. Look at this card right here. Every single one of these is cut out with a piece of adhesive on the back. How would you do this otherwise? You'd have little tiny bit of glues everywhere, or these would be like flying off the door everywhere. It's absolutely stunning. Pieces like this, if you wanted to put together, you would have little goops of glue everywhere. This is perfectly adhered to the page. If you are someone who likes to mail cards, this is a must, because how many times have you made a project and you put it in the mail and you're like, it's got enough adhesive, and then it gets there and it's like, and it's all falling apart. So I look at this background. So this was cut on a diagonal and then embossed on. Because it's perfectly adhered to the card, because it's essentially turning paper into a sticker, to your point, Suzanne, nothing's gonna get skewed, nothing's gonna get, the stencil isn't gonna get. How are you gonna get these tiny, detailed, all those leaf embellishment, all the dies we've got,
trying
all
to
the
use a tape runner.
No, it's just not happening. This is a set that we sold out of like in about 2 minutes.
That's a great example.
Please tell me how you would look at how detailed and fine the peacock's feathers are. How would you get that without, if you notice sometimes I don't say, could you please zoom in on this card, because I know there's like pieces of goo everywhere. This card, because every piece of paper has turned into a sticker, that's how you are going to create these beautiful, professional looking cards that are gonna stick when you put them in the mail. You're not gonna have the little bits and bobbles fall off. If you're somebody, again, this one, you'd have to have like a special trick and be like, okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of adhesive under this one, and then no, every single one is perfectly adhered to the card.
Well, and I want you to think about all the dies you have at home.
Yes.
Whether it's Anna's dies or you've got Sarah's dies.
Otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. Like it would take you forever to be able to do it. Now you can just run it through.
Yep.
And think about just taking little pieces. Like let's say you're doing something from, I don't know, a lot of the diamond press.
Yeah.
Some of the diamond press kits come with little teeny pieces. Well, imagine just taking little teeny sections of color, running it all through at once, and then making that ice cream cone in one pass. And it's already got the adhesive on it.
Well, and here's the other thing about it.
That makes life a lot easier.
I just took one of the slimline pieces. You are going to use every single, you know how sometimes we have, let me put my gloves on.
Okay, update, 500 gone.
Oh, okay. You know how sometimes we have...
And you're loving the big 72 pack.
I will say, so you're gonna want a little poker, because this has adhesive on it, you wanna use something, but you can see, this is perfectly cut out. Now, if I was gonna put this on this little piece of fence, it's just used, I don't know, what is that? A 2 by 1 inch piece of one piece of this slimline paper. So you are going to use every single bit of every single piece, because you're gonna have tiny embellishments that you're trying to get on. You're gonna get so much use out of it.
I had Stamps IB was on with me last week on my Facebook show, and she had this thing where when you ran it through the die cut, you had 1,000,000 stars that you could use and 1,000,000 little hearts, right? Or 1,000,000 little butterflies. But you have to put glue on every single one of them to use them. No, one pass, it's all done. Everything's got adhesive. All right, most popular is the A2 size. Remember, you can just do all white. So ink this up however you want, color it however you want, or you can do all the colors, or you